June 7th, 1990, I was barely 10 years old. Stepped off the plane to find a land of blue and white and gold. I found a home and values that felt steady, true and deep. A promise that the harvest was for those who chose to reap. Back then we had a handshake and a help your neighbor sow, where merit was the currency and kindness was the goal. We didn't see the shades of skin, we saw the sweat and skill, and built a life on character and independent will. Oh, I miss those good old days when we could disagree and still sit down for coffee in the land of liberty. When a hand up was a brother's grace, not a handout from the state. Before the walls were built by pride and fueled by whispered hate, yeah, we stood for something solid, something honest, something real, before we traded in our hearts for a crooked business deal. Fast forward 35 years and the compass started spinning. It's a different kind of game now, where the loyal keep on winning. I look toward the center, 'cause the edges got too frayed, watching Uncle Donnie count the billions he's been paid. The middle class is drowning while the insiders are cheered, and the empathy we used to have has simply disappeared. Now it's all about the kissing of the ring in the display, while the working man gets trampled in a cold and bitter way. They'll sabotage your paycheck and they'll call you weak and small. They'll starve you out and laugh to see you stumble through it all. Mastered every trickery, even messing with the mind, with frequencies and slanders and the traps that they design. They take your tax, deny your voice and impose a heavy fee, then hide behind a holding name to mask the tyranny. They brag about the damage done and pride themselves on pain, all because the man at top is silver in his vein. But there's a wisdom rising like a thunder in the plains. We're waking up to see the rot and break these heavy chains. The madness has a limit and the tide is gonna turn. There are lessons in the ashes of the bridges that they burn. No more using Jesus' name to justify the greed. We're planting better harvest from a much more honest seed. Oh, I miss those good old days when we could disagree and still sit down for coffee in the land of liberty. When a hand up was a brother's grace, not a handout from the state. Before the walls were built by pride and fueled by whispered hate, yeah, we stood for something solid, something honest, something real, before we traded in our hearts for a crooked business deal. We're gonna rebuild slowly, we're gonna restore the light, and learn to tell the difference between the power and the right. The dream is still worth chasing, but the salesman's gotta go. We're headed back to solid ground, where the quiet waters flow. Yeah, the good old days are coming, just a different kind than we used to know.